Hi everyone, welcome back to the Astrology channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Kaylin and today we're going to be looking at your August 2025 horoscope. This is a tropical Western astrological reading and you can watch your horoscope for your ascendant, sun and moon sign. However, if you've only got time to watch one horoscope today, then I would start off with your ascendant sign, which is also known as your rising sign. If you're wanting to see more astrological content and updates from me, please feel free to check out my Instagram and Facebook accounts. It's the same handle, which is Astrology. Without further ado though, let's get into your August horoscope. Hi Virgo Sun, Moon and Risings, welcome to your August 2025 horoscope. And to all of you August born Virgos, happy birthday. So let's begin by looking at career and business for you. For the first 7 days of the month, Mars will still be in the sign of Virgo. So this can see you feeling more motivated to solve problems and conflicts, especially in a professional capacity, although to be fair, even in your personal life as well. In saying that, Virgo is the sign of work and service, and Mars can present challenges and obstacles. So the first 7 days of the month could be testing you in some capacity. And something else to consider is that the South Node and Mars will still be in Virgo for that first 7 days of the month, meaning that there may be something that you need to let go of professionally speaking or surrender, or there could be a former idea or an old project that has come back to your attention, so you could be channeling some of your energy and effort into that. Now, on the 1st of August, the Sun and Mercury are going to form a conjunction in Leo at 9 degrees in your 12th house. So even though the 12th house is not related to work, Mercury is not only your chart ruler, it also rules over your 10th house, which is Gemini. And the 10th house is related to your public reputation and career. And the 9th house is all about what we're doing behind the scenes. So there may be some kind of creative idea that you've had from the past, because Mercury will be retrograde, but now you are seeing it with a fresh pair of eyes, or maybe you feel inclined to breathe new life into this project. So definitely pay attention to whatever is coming up for you around the 1st of August. So with Mercury being retrograde in Leo in your 12th house up until the 11th of August, but still being in Leo for the whole rest of the month, this can see you rethinking your career, your public reputation, your public status, and you can certainly have epiphanies or realizations about what direction you want to be moving in a professional sense. Another way that this can play out is that some of you may be uncovering certain confidential or secret information, either about your boss or some other kind of authority figure in your company, or perhaps it's almost like a company secret that you happen upon. Okay, and if that were to be the case, I would say it would be occurring within the first maybe 11 or so days of the month, or maybe even the second half of July, given that Mercury stationed retrograde on the 18th of July. Okay, so on the 9th of August, there will be a full moon in Aquarius in your 6th house at 16 degrees. So the 6th house in astrology is related to our work life in terms of the day-to-day comings and goings, and having a full moon here in the 6th house could be indicative of you ending or completing some kind of work project or work task. On a different note, full moons are associated with realizations, okay, and something coming to fruition. So maybe you are having an important realization about what you should be doing with a work project, or how to move forward with some work tasks that have maybe been somewhat of a challenge for you. Okay, on a different note, the 6th house does rule over our employees. So a full moon in your 6th house, for those of you who do have employees or people working for you, could actually result in someone leaving unexpectedly, or maybe there's some kind of conflict or challenging situation, and that could be with you and an employee, or that sort of breaks out between some of your employees. Even if it doesn't involve you directly, it may just be that you need to step in and mediate the situation or take some kind of important action. So I repeat, that's on the 9th of August, but full moon energy can be with us 1 to 2 weeks before or 1 to 2 weeks after. So on the whole, it appears to me that for those of you who are currently employed, this full moon in your 6th house will lead to an important realization or conclusion as it relates to your work. Now, if you've been unemployed for a while, the full moon in the 6th house could actually see there being some kind of new job or position that comes through for you. All right, so a couple of other things that I wanted to touch on for career and business before we move on is that there will be a new moon in Virgo on the 23rd of August. And so we've got the sun entering Virgo, which means Virgo season is commencing pretty much within 24 hours of the new moon. So new moons are all about a new chapter taking place in our life, or planting the seeds and setting our intention. So what's interesting, Virgo, is that we have back-to-back new moons. We've got a new moon in August, and then next month, we've got a new moon solar eclipse in Virgo. Okay, so there could be a very important new chapter that's starting in your life. It could be across a range of different areas, but we're just talking about career and business for now. So there could be a new development in your career, especially because this new moon is in your 1st house and it is squaring Uranus and Gemini in your 10th house. So this adds an element of surprise, something that is unexpected, or like a pivot that you hadn't seen coming. Even if you were the one who is deciding to pivot or change direction with your career or an important work project, it could just be something that maybe takes you by surprise or takes other people by surprise. Okay, so there may be an opportunity that comes up around the 23rd of August, plus or minus a week, that involves a promotion or you taking on a new work project. Okay, or maybe it's an old idea that you are breathing new life into, which is similar to what I said before with the Sun Mercury conjunction. And the reason I'm saying this again is because the South Node is in Virgo. Okay, so whatever is happening for you in a work sense this month and also next month with the eclipse, I do believe that you have awareness of this, because the South Node is like, this has been on the back burner, this has been something that I've thought about for a long time, maybe months, maybe years, and now I'm actually understanding how I can move forward with that. All right, so Virgo season alone is a very highly productive time, not just for Virgos, but across the board, because Virgo is the sign of work and service. So from the 23rd of August through till about the 22nd of September, anything that you are wanting to do professionally speaking is receiving some kind of green light or blessing from the fact that it is Virgo season. Of course, that doesn't mean that everything that you do is going to, turn to gold or be successful, but it's as though there's this extra momentum and motivation that you are able to capitalize on in Virgo season. Now, lastly, what I wanted to mention was that we have a couple of aspects occurring in August that are very rare. So we've got Saturn in Aries in your 8th house, sextiling Uranus and Gemini in your 10th house for the whole month, but it will be exact on the 12th of August. We also have Neptune in Aries in your 8th house, sextiling Uranus and Gemini in your 10th house. Again, this is for basically the whole month, but it's exact right at the end on the 28th or the 29th of August. So also, Saturn and Neptune are both in Aries. As we know, they've been together in Aries in your 8th house since, the end of May. But now in August, they are getting as close to a conjunction as they will up until February next year when it is exact. What does this mean? This means that there is an opportunity for you to redefine, to rebrand, to make significant changes to your public reputation, to your professional status, to how you are presenting yourself, to how you are coming across professionally speaking in an online capacity. And your actions will be very, very visible in the month of August in particular. Okay, so with the sextile to Saturn and Neptune in your 8th house, there is an opportunity here for you to combine resources with another person, or to benefit from someone who is offering you their resources. That can be financially, that can be professionally, that can be emotional support, that can be their expertise. This can indicate that you're going into business with another person. In any case, there's some kind of new chapter that is very powerful and career defining and even reputation defining that is occurring in August. So just have a look at what are the common denominators here across all of my ideas, or the direction that I want to move in. Where can I take a risk? Where am I inclined to differentiate myself or to present in a unique and innovative way, as is the function of Uranus and Gemini in your 10th house. So now let's move on to finances and property. In the first few days of the month, you may be inclined to make very important financial decisions. I say this because Venus will be in Cancer in your 11th house, squaring both Saturn and Neptune in Aries in your 8th house. The 11th house is about your long-term financial goals, and it also rules over passive and residual forms of income and investors. The 8th house, where we've got Saturn and Neptune, relates to your mutual resources. So shared bank accounts, anything that involves benefiting from other people's resources or you contributing to other people's resources. So think child custody, alimony money, spousal support, wills, inheritances, etc., etc. So with Venus squaring Saturn and Neptune, and Venus also rules over your 2nd house, which is finances and resources, it's like there's some kind of pressure here for you to either ask someone for support, whether that's with their financial situation or resources or time, effort, etc., or you may feel pressured to contribute to someone in a financial capacity or with your own resources. Given that these squares are taking place at 1 degree, which is the Aries degree, to me it appears like there's some kind of financial risk that is involved here, or pressure. Maybe you're taking a bit of a gamble, or you just feel like, you know what, I haven't tried this before, but let's do this and see how the cookie crumbles. Okay, so from the 7th of March through till the 21st of September, Mars will be transiting your 2nd house of finances and resources. Okay, so the 2nd house is about your personal income. When Mars goes through the 2nd house, it can play out in a few different ways that I've noticed. One is we can be very motivated to make more money, generate a new stream of income, increase our finances. Okay, so it's like I'm aggressively saving for something, or I'm taking matters into my own hands with my budget, with my expenses, maybe cutting out expenses. Okay, because Mars rules over, you know, anything to do with knives and weaponry in a physical way and in a symbolic way. On a different note, Mars going through your 2nd house could indicate that there are a lot of expenses. Okay, so it is a double-edged sword, so to speak. Between, well, I want to say around the 9th, 10th, 11th, maybe 12th of August, there could be some significant expenses or investments that you are making. And I say that because Mars will be in Libra in your second house, and it's making all of these aspects. It's trining Uranus and Gemini in your 10th house. So maybe you are investing in something that is going to improve your career. Maybe this is to do with education, investing in important resources or tools or equipment for your work, or committing to, investing in a course or furthering your education somehow. But on the same day, Mars is going to oppose Saturn and Neptune in Aries in your 8th house at 1 degrees. And we've also got a full moon in Aquarius, and that's on the 9th of August. And then on the 10th of August, Mars is in Libra, and it's trining Pluto and Aquarius in your 6th house. So somehow it appears that there are important decisions that you're making in the first half of the month. On one level, I think these decisions involve your resources with another person and asking for more support and asking for more help, or you are contributing support and help to another person. By the same token, I think you'll be investing in something that is very important for your career, for your public reputation, and something that is maybe even just going to improve like your day-to-day life. Now, also on a financial front, we've got the annual Venus-Jupiter conjunction taking place in your 11th house, but this time it's happening in the sign of Cancer, and we haven't seen this take place for about 11 or 12 months. Both Venus and Jupiter are associated with finances and resources. So Jupiter is more about wealth, abundance, prosperity, and like expanding whatever it touches. So the two planets here forming a conjunction in your 11th house could indicate that you are investing in a very long-term or large-scale project, business idea, business venture. On a different note, someone could actually be contributing to you. So they could be investing in your idea, investing in your business or your dream or vision for the future. Now, talking about property, all right, your 4th house, which rules over property and living circumstances, is not super activated. So you'd be forgiven for looking at the astrology of August and being like, oh, like there's nothing really happening for me when it comes to my living situation. But with the new moon let me start a little bit back from that. With the Venus-Jupiter conjunction in your 11th house, Jupiter rules over your 4th house of property and living circumstances, which is Sagittarius. It rules over your 7th house, which represents contracts or doing business with another person, which is Pisces. And then we've got Venus ruling over your 2nd house, which is finances and resources. And then the 9th house, which is like a legal house in astrology / rules over anything to do with interstate and international travel. So long story short, you may be making a very important decision in August about your long-term living situation. You may be signing contracts. You may be engaging the services of a builder. You may be making a decision about where you want to live. Now, let's not forget that we've got the new moon in Virgo at 0 degrees. So 0 degrees is super potent, right? We're not pigeonholing what it could be. Okay, so in particular, if you're a Virgo around 0 degrees, and especially if you're a Virgo moon or even a Virgo rising, then yes, this could indicate that you are planting the seeds and setting intentions for what you want to do with your property and living situation. Now, next month, we've got the new moon solar eclipse in Virgo. And when we have eclipses in our sign, that is one of the most high-level indicators for a big change occurring. Okay, big changes in my book look like buying or selling property, relocating, getting into a relationship or coming out of a relationship, so as well as marriage, divorce, starting a family, and big changes in terms of job and career. These are like the big ticket items, and of course health as well. But in any case, there could be important decisions and realizations that you have across August. and also September about where you want to live. So looking at family and home life, the first 7 days of the month look to be, I guess, the most maybe taxing or challenging if I had to segment August into, week-long periods. And I say this because Mars will still be in the sign of Virgo for the first 7 days of the month. All right, so there could be issues or tension here. If you're a Virgo rising or sun, this could be with siblings or extended relatives, given that Mars rules over your third house. If you're a Virgo moon, I'm not going to pigeonhole certain family members because the moon just represents family, right? So Mars, if you're a Virgo moon like me, Mars transiting Virgo can see there being some kind of conflictual situation that arises with family. Okay, just in general. I guess, the mother is highlighted here and children if you have children. But, after that, things start to improve. On the 12th of August, we've got a Venus-Jupiter conjunction in your 11th house. To be fair, it's also trining the moon in Pisces. So this can indicate that there's a blessing on a family situation that occurs. And maybe this involves females in the family, or you may be assisted in a financial sense or in terms of support with a long-term goal or project or dream of yours, or maybe you're going into business with a family member. And the reason I mention this is because Venus and Jupiter are conjunct in the sign of Cancer. Cancer rules over family, Jupiter rules over your 4th house, and this conjunction is sextiling you, and it's at 14 degrees, just by the way. So with the new moon in Virgo at 0 degrees squaring Uranus in your 10th house in Gemini, this could actually indicate a time where you're quite fertile. So there could be an unexpected pregnancy if you're wanting to start a family. This could actually occur a lot quicker than what you were anticipating, or maybe there's something unexpected here in the dynamics, like, for example, falling pregnant with twins, right? Or even triplets, because Gemini is a sign of multiplicity, right? So on a different level, the new moon at 0 degrees square Uranus could indicate that there's maybe unexpected news that you receive from family. So something surprising could be shared with you. But in saying that, another way it could play out is that maybe you need to make decisions on behalf of your family or a family member, and maybe they're unexpected decisions, or you have to act quickly, or maybe what you are doing in your personal life, your family are like, surprised by the choices that you're making. Okay, so looking at love and relationships, Venus will be in Cancer for pretty much most of the month up until around the 25th or 26th of August, at which point it'll move into the sign of Leo. So Venus transiting your 11th house indicates that there's a focus on friendships and networking and socializing. If there were to be points where relationships could, I guess, flare up in terms of irritants or just feeling disappointed or a bit frustrated, then I would say you'd be looking at around the first couple of days of the month where Venus is in Cancer squaring Saturn and Neptune in Aries, and then later in the month around the 23rd of August where Venus in Cancer is squaring Chiron in Aries. Okay, so there may be some niggles that arise during that period of time. On the 12th of August, with the Venus-Jupiter conjunction in your 11th house, for those of you who are not in a relationship, this could indicate that maybe a romantic development could be taking off with a friend, or it could be an online relationship or situationship. If you are already in a relationship, then maybe around the 12th of August, your existing relationship is receiving some kind of blessing, especially as it relates to being unified in terms of your goals and your dreams and vision for the future and your long-term financial plans. Okay, so lastly, with Venus entering the sign of Leo from the 25th or the 26th of August, depending where you live in the world, the 12th house is a hidden house in astrology. So Venus going into the 12th house and joining Mercury, which is your chart ruler, could indicate that there may be some sort of like hidden love, forbidden love, romantic situation, and maybe you are just keeping things on the down low. Maybe you're just staying in your little love bubble and not sharing the nature of this romantic development with other people. Venus will make a bunch of aspects in the last few days of the month. It'll be trining Saturn in Aries, sextiling Uranus in Gemini, trining Neptune in Aries, and then opposing Pluto in Aquarius. So between the 26th and the 27th, or even I'll buffer it out to 25th and 28th of August, is when I would anticipate there to be significant romantic developments, if there were going to be any, to take place for you. And of course, you know, the 12th of August with the Venus-Jupiter conjunction in your 11th house. So Virgo, lastly, just some notes here. Mercury is in your 12th house for the whole of August. It will enter the sign of Virgo on the 2nd of September. So for part of it, it'll be retrograde, then it's in its post-shadow period. What does this mean? Your physical health and vitality is a little more vulnerable during this time with your chart ruler in the 12th house. In saying that, there's a very big focus on having intuitive downloads, maybe awakenings or epiphanies, being aware of self-sabotaging behavior, doing shadow work, but then also maybe rethinking your path in life, your career, the direction that you're going in, and you could have some really important realizations literally in August as a whole. So Virgo, that's all I have for you for your August horoscope. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content on the channel, hit the subscribe button. Of course, I'm also on Instagram and Facebook, so if you're wanting more updates in between these horoscopes, you can head to K-Astrology. Enjoy your month ahead, and I will see you guys for Virgo season next month, and of course, eclipse season for us Virgos. Take care and see you then.